When Shark Tank Season 17 premiered, fans expected the usual lineup of ambitious entrepreneurs pitching everything from eco-friendly cleaning products to high-tech gadgets promising to revolutionize daily life. What they didn't expect was Pete Davidson, comedian, actor, tabloid magnate, and self-deprecating king of awkward charm, walking into the tank, hoodie half-zipped, sneakers untied, and holding what appeared to be a box of oddly packaged gummies. The studio audience, a rare treat for premiere episodes, erupted in laughter, the sharks raised their eyebrows, and Twitter lit up like Times Square. Was Pete serious? Was this another publicity stunt? Or had the Staten Island native truly decided to chase startup glory? The question that buzzed across social media was simple: did Pete Davidson actually snag funding on Shark Tank's Season 17 premiere? Pete Davidson, from SNL to the startup world. Pete Davidson has always been hard to pin down. Rising to fame on Saturday Night Live, he quickly became a household name not just for his comedy but for his highly publicized love life. Kim Kardashian, Ariana Grande, Kate Beckinsale, the headlines wrote themselves. But beneath the celebrity chaos, Pete has always had an entrepreneurial streak. He's invested in cannabis ventures, hinted at launching a line of mental health-focused wellness products, and even joked about creating a Staten Island-themed clothing brand called Sad Boy Swag. So when Pete showed up in front of the sharks, the shock wasn't that he had an idea. It was that he actually had the guts to pitch it to the likes of Mark Cuban and Kevin O'Leary. Shark Tank Season 17, a stage set for surprises. ABC hyped the Season 17 premiere as one of the wildest yet. Guest shark Gwyneth Paltrow returned, and rumors swirled that an A-list celebrity would join the lineup of hopefuls. Most fans assumed it would be a polished Hollywood entrepreneur pushing a high-end wellness brand or a sleek tech innovation. Instead, Pete Davidson sauntered in, hands in pockets, looking both nervous and amused. "Hi sharks," he mumbled, I'm Pete. You probably know me from, being in the tabloids against my will. But today, I'm here for something different." The sharks leaned in. Cameras zoomed. Viewers at home grinned. Pete's pitch: Chill Chews. Pete revealed his product, Chill Chews, a line of edible gummies designed to ease anxiety, promote relaxation, and taste way better than the chalky vitamins gathering dust in most people's kitchen cabinets. "They're not weed," Pete clarified quickly, anticipating skeptical looks. "I mean, some versions could be. But this is like CBD, melatonin, magnesium, all the stuff my therapist says I should take but I forget. Now it's all in one gummy, and it doesn't taste like medicine. Plus, the branding is cool. Like, I'd actually want to eat these." He held up a pastel-colored packet featuring a cartoon version of himself lying on a couch with sunglasses, under the tagline, "Take the edge off, not your whole day." The sharks chuckled. Barbara Corcoran tilted her head. Mark Cuban leaned forward. The ask. Pete asked for $500,000 in exchange for 10% equity in Chill Chews, valuing his company at $5 million. "Look," Pete said, "I know you're thinking, this is just some stoner with a cartoon on a bag. But I've already got 200,000 pre-orders online, mostly from fans who, think I'm funny but also actually like the product. My team has a manufacturer, we're in talks with 2 retail chains, and I just need a shark to help me make this a real business instead of another celebrity gimmick that ends up in a CVS clearance aisle." The room was silent for a beat. Then, the feeding frenzy began. How the sharks reacted. Mark Cuban, the pragmatist. Cuban, known for investing in health and wellness products, perked up. "I like the concept, Pete," he said. "You're hitting the intersection of mental health awareness and consumer convenience. Plus, you've got the brand power. But I want to know, is this you building a real company, or are you going to lose interest once the next movie role comes along?" Pete scratched his head. "Honestly, I lose interest in a lot of things. But this one, I actually care. Because, I use them. If I didn't, I'd be way more annoying than I already am." The sharks laughed. Cuban smiled, clearly intrigued. "Lori Greiner, the retail queen." Lori sniffed the gummies and read the packaging. "They're cute. They're fun. They're marketable. I could see these flying off shelves at Target. But Pete, supplements are a highly competitive, heavily regulated market. Do you have the infrastructure to keep up with demand?" Pete shrugged. "That's why I'm here. You're the infrastructure lady. I'm just the messed up comedian with an idea." Lori laughed, but her face stayed thoughtful. Kevin O'Leary. Mr. Wonderful. Kevin couldn't resist. "Pete, I like you. You're funny. But funny doesn't make me money. What makes me money is margins. What does it cost you to make one bag, and what are you selling it for?" Pete grinned. I knew you'd ask that. My cost is $2 a bag. We're selling them for $14.99. People are willing to pay to feel less like garbage. Kevin raised his eyebrows. That's actually impressive. He leaned back, stroking his chin. I'd give you the $500,000, but I want 25%. Because frankly, I don't trust you to run this business long term without me holding your hand. Pete blinked. You wanna hold my hand? That's weird, bro. The room erupted in laughter. Barbara Corcoran, the wild card. Barbara squinted at Pete. You remind me of every troubled nephew I've ever had. But you've got heart, and you've clearly connected with your audience. I think moms would actually buy this for their stressed out kids. I'll offer you $500,000 for 20%, but I want to help shape the brand into something that lasts longer than your latest tattoo. Pete laughed. Fair enough. But the tattoos are forever. Damon John, the branding expert. Damon was impressed with the logo. Pete, your face sells. Whether it's Yeezys, Supreme, or whatever, culture drives commerce. If we build this brand right, Chill Chews could be the next mainstream relaxation product. I'll give you $500,000 for 15%. Gwyneth Paltrow, the guest shark. Gwyneth adjusted her blazer. Pete, I've built Goop into a wellness empire. Your product could align with that, but it needs a stronger narrative. What's the story behind Chill Chews? Pete got quiet. Honestly, anxiety sucks. And depression sucks. And I wanted something that makes it suck a little less. That's it. No crystals, no moon water, just gummies that taste good and don't make me hate myself. The sharks nodded, unusually touched. Gwyneth smiled softly. That's actually really compelling. The negotiations. Suddenly, the tank was buzzing. Pete had multiple offers. Kevin, $500,000 for 25%. Barbara, $500,000 for 20%. Damon, $500,000 for 15%. Lori tentative $500,000 for 18%. Mark, still thinking. Mark finally leaned in. Pete, I'll give you $500,000 for 12%. But only if you commit to hiring a legit CEO to run this business day to day. I'll help you find the right person. That way, you can keep being Pete Davidson, and Chill Chews can keep growing without collapsing under celebrity chaos. The audience gasped. That was the deal to beat. Pete's decision. Pete scratched his head, paced around, and looked genuinely overwhelmed. Man, I didn't think you'd all actually like this. I thought you'd roast me and I'd leave crying. The sharks chuckled. Pete took a deep breath. Mark, you're the dude I trust most with this. Let's do it. Mark Cuban smiled, stood up, and shook Pete's hand. Deal closed. Aftermath. Pete Davidson, entrepreneur. The episode ended with a triumphant montage of Pete and Cuban high-fiving, Chill Chews bags spinning in the air, and Kevin O'Leary muttering about losing another deal to Cuban. Within 24 hours of the premiere airing, Chill Chews sold out online. Hashtags like #ChillWithPete and #SharkTankPete trended on Twitter. TikTok flooded with unboxing videos. Fans joked that Pete had finally found his true calling, not acting, not stand-up, but gummies. Industry insiders were divided. Some called it a gimmick destined to fade. Others saw potential for Chill Chews to dominate the wellness space, especially with Cuban's backing. One thing was clear, Pete Davidson had pulled off the unthinkable. He walked into Shark Tank as a punchline and walked out as a funded entrepreneur. Cultural impact. Why this matters. Pete's Shark Tank appearance wasn't just about gummies. It was about cultural crossover. A comedian known for his chaotic love life and self-deprecating humor suddenly became the face of a wellness brand. It was absurd, ironic, and yet, kind of perfect. It also highlighted a larger trend, celebrities using their platforms not just to endorse products but to build them. From Rihanna's Fendi to Ryan Reynolds' Aviation Gin, the line between entertainment and entrepreneurship keeps blurring. And Pete Davidson, he might just be the next unlikely mogul. Conclusion. The punchline turned power move. So, did Pete Davidson snag funding on Shark Tank's season 17 premiere? Yes. Against all odds, the man who once tattooed his ex's name on his body after 3 weeks of dating secured $500,000 from Mark Cuban for a gummy brand designed to help people chill out. It was part comedy sketch, part serious business deal, and all classic Pete Davidson, messy, heartfelt, and unexpectedly successful. And as fans everywhere popped open their first bag of Chill Chews, one thing became clear: sometimes the biggest joke is also the best investment.